All eyes are, of course, on Rome in the coming hours as the 133 cardinals tasked with electing the new pope begin their conclave. Final preparations are underway with a number of ancient rituals taking place, including the destruction of Pope Francis's fisherman's ring and seal. Our reporter Elias Klur is inside St Peter's Square at the Vatican for us this morning. G'day, Elias. Take us through the next 24 hours. What happens next?
G'day, James. Well, as is custom at the Vatican, the day will start tomorrow Rome time with prayer, reflection and a mass. Then the 133 voting cardinals will break for lunch, and in the early afternoon they'll be transferred from their dormitories at the Casa Santa Marta to the Sistine Chapel, where the doors will be locked and they'll be sequestered and they won't be allowed out again until they have elected a new pope. Now, they're taking the sequestering of the 133 voting cardinals so seriously that they have been jamming phone signals in and around the Vatican. And we're told that the average age of the voting cardinals is about 69 years old. So we're not sure how much Instagramming and Snapchatting they'll be doing, but you can't be too sure. So they'll be doing that as well. Now, in the afternoon, we're expected to have the first vote where the cardinals will cast their ballots. If it's unsuccessful, which it's expected to be, we'll see some black smoke pour out of a makeshift chimney above the Sistine Chapel. And then from there, the voting will continue. But a few steps to go through before we get there, James.
Yeah, and it's always hard to pick a front runner. But has anyone emerged as a favourite there in the Vatican?
Well, it is hard to pick a front runner because cardinals are sworn to secrecy and they've been tight-lipped coming in and out of the Vatican over the last few days. But there has been discussion around Luis Tagle, who's the former archbishop of Manila. He's seen as a moderate and someone that could be perhaps the first pope from Asia. There's also been some discussion around Timoty Dolan. He's quite unorthodox, has a very charismatic style, but also very friendly with US President Donald Trump. What a statement that would be from the church if he was the one elected. And then in terms of diplomacy, well, some people are mentioning Pietro Parolin as a good option. He was a close confidant of Pope Francis, the late Pope Francis, and has been serving in the Vatican top brass for a number of years. So they're seen as potential front runners, but it's impossible to know. These 133 cardinals, many of them had not known each other before they arrived in Rome a few days ago. They've been spending the last few days just talking with each other, meeting, having congresses in the Vatican. In fact, the last one they had, we heard from a Vatican official that they discussed continuing the legacy of Pope Francis. So that might be a clue as to what direction they may go in. But we've been speaking to people here at the Vatican as to who they want to see as the next Pope. Let's have a listen.
I think his name is Luis. He's the one from Philippines. Yeah, we've been reading that in the last conclave, he was one of the favorites. But since he was very young, he had less possibilities to be elected.
I'd like to have a black pope, an African pope. It would be exciting for me.
Liberal, conservative, these are terms that we use in politics. If you use them in church context, people kind of squirm because they say the church is not a political entity, although politics does play a role.
There's a saying in Rome that people will enter a pope and leave a cardinal, and that basically is to say that no one really knows who will come out on top in this race to be the highest ranking official in the Catholic world, but all will be revealed soon.